Hello guys, welcome to the channel here today for a full news roundup about Barcelona, where we're going to discuss about news surrounding Ousmane Dembele being linked to PSG, Pedri release closed, and Xavi Hernandez press conference after the game against Arsenal. We do not forget also we're going to discuss about El Classico, because Barcelona is going to play the game, a friendly game, El Classico game against Real Madrid in the United States for the preseason tour. So guys, if we do indeed start with the Ousmane Dembele being linked to PSG, we know that the player actually he is in a contract, he is in a negotiation for a contract with Barcelona. His contract expired in the summer of 2024, so the player is really willing to stay at the club. He doesn't want to leave the club. He has said it so many times, according to what he said himself in his interviews, or every time he got the possibility to talk about his future, he said that he is fully concentrated on Barcelona. But in the past few hours, we have heard rumors, news saying that the player he was being linked to a PSG, it was almost done, and news were coming, reports were coming that PSG were ready to pay his release clause, because we know actually his release clause is only at 50 million euro for this month, for the month of July. From the next month, August the 1st, his release clause will go from 50 million to 100 million. But what is the scenario, guys? The scenario is pretty simple. The 50 million euro release clause that he has actually is that if any club pays that clause to Barcelona, Barcelona will only receive half of the money. 25 million for Barcelona and 25 million for Dembele comes. So that was the negotiation that they had last season when they were negotiating to prolong Dembele contract, because he was already out of contract with Barcelona and the negotiation wasn't really going well. And we have heard Laporta and also Rafa Yuste lately, they were talking about the fact that it was always difficult to negotiate with the agent, with Dembele's agent, because it's always complicated, it makes things really complicated. So actually the player, he is really focused on the preseason tour, and according to the report, according to Mundo Deportivo, the player is only thinking about Barcelona, he's not thinking about leaving the club. And we don't know exactly if it is one of the strategy that his agent is using to push Barcelona to put more money on the table so that he can have a more lucrative contract. We are going to wait and see if it's true that Dembele is going to leave for PSG. I think, guys, we do like Dembele. Barcelona fans, they like Dembele. They love him. They adopted Dembele very, very, in a positive way. But actually, since he got there, he's going to start his 7th season with the club if he stays this summer. But he has not really delivered since he got here. He has spent 5 years without doing nothing. He always injured, and this is not really a big, a player with a huge impact on the team in the past few years. But now, guys, we are going to wait and see what is the situation with Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain, if the player is going to leave Barcelona for Paris Saint-Germain or if he's going to remain at Barcelona. And also, guys, always talking about Paris Saint-Germain, they are really interested in Pedri Gonzalez, and reports were coming out saying that the player, he has a release clause in his contract about 100 million and 110, 120, and Fabrizio Romano was talking about it. From what he said and from what is being reported in certain media, Pedri Gonzalez has only a release clause of 1 billion euro. There is no 100 million euro or 110, 120 million release clause in his contract. So 1 billion euro, and that is final. And we know that Pedri, he loves Barcelona. He's really focused on the club. He wants to stay at Barcelona, and that's it. So he's being linked to PSG. PSG, they like it. As what is being said, they really like the player. And guys, this is normal. Who doesn't like Pedri? Everyone would like to have Pedri in his team. If you ask Guardiola, actually, if he wants to take Pedri, he will say he will go for it. It's like players like Pedri, De Jong, Rodri, or Bellingham, Camavinga. Those are the kind of players that you want to have in your team, because they are really talented. They can make a difference. It's like those kind of players, they are going to mark an error in your club or in your team. So Pedri being linked to PSG, I don't think that there is much to be worried about. We might be surprised by any kind of situation, but guys, if Pedri is set to leave Barcelona, I don't think that he's going to be at PSG. If this is the case, so let it be. We are going to wait and see. So guys, if we indeed move to the next point, we are going to discuss about Xavi Hernandez press conference after the game against Arsenal. What he said that Xavi after the game against Arsenal, he was complaining about the fact that Arsenal, the players, they were putting so much pressure on the game. It's like the intensity was too high. We know that Arsenal, they have been having their preseason game for a while. That was the 4th or 5th game against Barcelona. So physically they are ready. And Barcelona, they are not, because that was their first game. The first one has been cancelled due to a problem that they had, like a gastronomic problem, a virus. Some of the players was not feeling well. That's why the game has been cancelled, the game against Juventus. So after the game, Xavi Hernandez were complaining. But also, guys, don't jump on the conclusion, because news were coming that the game was supposed to be, they were not really willing to play the game because the state of the field was not that good. And before the game, Xavi Hernandez had a conversation with Arteta. They agreed on the fact that they are going to play like very slow, with a lower intensity. But when the game starts, the Arsenal players, they move the level of their game to a Champions League level. So that's why Xavi was complaining, but he did not complain as per se, complaining just for complaining, but he had his reasons. He wanted to protect his players, all those, and we know that is really important for the coaches. So this is it. Xavi Hernandez is complaining about it, but there is nothing to worry about. There's nothing to do, like to take it out of the context and talk about things as it. So Xavi being so petty. It's nothing about it. So guys, if we move to the last point where we're going to talk about El Classico, we know that Barcelona, they are going to face Real Madrid tonight in the United States for the Classico, and we know there is a friendly game in a Classico. The game is surely going to be very tense, and I don't think that Barcelona, they are ready for the game or not. Maybe they might surprise us. But the game here, Real Madrid, they are really ready, because we have seen their game against Manchester United, we have seen their game against AC Milan. They are really good, and the intensity is coming. Bellingham is doing pretty well, and Joselu also, he had a goal, an incredible goal against Manchester United, and Bellingham also scored his first goal with Real Madrid. So this is a game that we are all waiting for. It's going to be really, really interesting. I can't wait to watch the game. I can't wait to be there, to the game, to Saturday night, to see how it's going to be the Classico, the game against Real Madrid. Real Madrid, they are ready. They are new signing Fran Garcia. He is doing pretty well. Bellingham also, and we are going to wait and see. Brahim Diaz also, he's not that bad. He's doing very well. So Barcelona, they are trying to get back on the track, and this is not easy for them to finish the game against Arsenal without no rhythm, and then move on to the next game against Real Madrid. But I think that we'll see a good game. We'll see a very interesting game. So guys, let me know your thoughts about this Ousmane Dembele saga, your thoughts about Pedri Gonzalez, and also what Xavi had to say after the game against Arsenal. Don't forget the Classico. We'll catch up just after the game for a quick debrief. See you. Ciao.